اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي ربي زدني علما. Today we are going to go over lesson 9 of unit 2 again, that is conditional words, huruf al-shart, because some sisters had they wanted a revision for this class. So the conditional words or the huruf al-shart are, we have man, that is who or whoever, amma, imma, in, la in, which is if, law is also if, ma or mahma, whatever, ainama is wherever. We already learned aina. Aina is a question word. So if it is ainama, it's wherever. And ma also is a question word. If it is ma or mahma, then it is whatever. Ida is when, and ayu or ayuma is whichsoever. So these were the conditional particle which we learned from the book. But what exactly the conditional sentence is? It's composed of two clauses. The first one is the condition, and the second one is the result that tells you what will happen when something is done. For example, if you study, then you will pass the exam, right? So the condition is if you have to study, and what is the result? You will pass the exam. Okay, so that is a conditional sentence. That is, you have if clause followed by a condition, and then you have a then clause followed by the result. So here, in Arabic grammar, these two clauses are known as shart. The first part, that is the if part, is called the shart part, and the second part, that is the then part, result part, is called as jawabu shart. This is the response to that condition or shart. So the shart and jawabu shart together make up a jumla shartiya. Okay. So for example, if I wake up, then I can pray on time. So what is the if part here? I wake up. That is the shart part. And what is the jawabu shart? Then I can pray on time is the jawabu shart. Okay. So the conditional sentence in Arabic is made up of three parts. First one is the conditional article. You should have the conditional article at the beginning of the conditional sentence. Like we have man, ma, mahma, ainama, and all those things. So they will come at the beginning of the conditional sentence. They are called as adwatu shart, or conditional words, or huruf shart. And second is the conditional verb, that is fi'lu shart. And then you have the answer to the condition, that is jawabu shart, which is the result or answer depending on the condition. And there are two types of conditional articles. The first one is the jazim, and second one is the ghairu jazim. Jazim in the sense the conditional article that turns both the conditional verb and its answer, that is jawabu shart, into a jassive mode. So suppose if you have the adwatu shart, hurufu shart at the beginning followed by a mudare, and if that mudare becomes majzoom, or if you have multiple mudare, then that particular conditional article is called as jazim conditional article, because it made the mudare majzoom. That's why it's called as jazim. And what are they? They are man, ma, mahma, ainama, in, illa, that is in plus la. So the second type is called as ghairu jazim, like the conditional particles that do not turn the verbs of the conditional sentence into jassive. So if you have a mudari after these conditional articles, they will not make it majzoom. And what are they? They are law, amma, imma, and idha. Okay. And also there is a correction in the book as well. Like one correction is, this is not ayun, this is ayu. Okay. And the above words are used in conditional sentence, which consist of two parts. That is, you have shart, that is the condition or if clause, and next one you have jawabu shart, that is the answer to the of the condition or main clause. So in Arabic, the conditions and their answers are used in verbal sentences. And any mudare which follows the conditional words ends with a sukun. So there is a correction here. Any mudare with the exceptions of law, amma, imma, and idha. Okay. So these are what? They are ghairu jazim. Okay, so this is the correction you have to make it in the book, because not all the words, the conditional words are jazim, right? Because only the rest of the words, they make the mudari after it madzum, but except this law, amma, imma, and idha. You just note it down in your textbook. So this is the normal mudari chart, like yaf'alu, yaf'alani, yaf'aluna, all the way of like the first person is af'alu and naf'alu. So if you have the conditional article, the jazim conditional article, okay, so what will they do to the mudari? They make it madzum. So it becomes in yaf'al, in yaf'ala, in yaf'alu. The noon drops for dual and plural, and for the third person masculine singular, it becomes madzum. Instead of yaf'alu, it becomes yaf'al. In taf'al, in taf'ala, in yaf'alna. إن تفعل، إن تفعلا، إن تفعلوا، إن تفعلي، إن تفعلا، إن تفعلنا، إن أفعل، إن نفعل. And we took the examples from Surah Zilzal. We have فَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ خَيْرًا يَرَى. Right? So which is the conditional article here? Man is a conditional article. And what type of conditional article is this? Is this jazim or ghairu jazim? Jazim. Very good. It is jazim because instead of ya'malu, it becomes madzum, it becomes ya'mal. So whoever does, okay. So we learned about the jasif particles in our previous lesson, jazima and nasiba, right? Jazima are the jasif particle that makes the mudari after it madzum, right? But even the conditional articles, some of the conditional articles makes the mudari after it madzum. So because of man, ya'malu becomes ya'mal. Okay. And we have innahum in yadhharu alaykum yarjumukum. So what is the conditional article in this ayah? Surah Kahf? In. In is the conditional article. And what is it doing to the mudari after it? Yazharuna becomes yazharu. Very good. Why? Because this is from jazim conditional article, which makes the mudari madzum. And not only yazharu, it's also making the mudari, the yarjumuna. It was actually yarjumuna. The noon drops for this as well. So if there are multiple mudaris after it, it makes them madzum as well. So in yazharu, if they come to know alaykum, about you, yarjumukum, then they will stone you. This is jawabu shart, right? So jawabu shart mudari will also be madzum. So this was yarjumuna. The noon is dropped here, okay, because of in. So this is the jawabu shart. One more example is wama yaf'alu min khairin falan yukfaruh. So here ma is a conditional, the conditional word, that is a huruf shart. Because of that, yaf'aluna becomes madzum, the noon drops and it becomes yaf'alu. And whatever they do of a good, falan yukfaru, then never will they be denied of it. This is jawabu shart. This yukfaru, this is fi'l mudari, this is mabni. We are going to learn in our coming lesson. This is also madzum. So the conditional articles that turn both the conditional verb and its answer, that is jawabu shart, into jasiv mode are called as jazim conditional article. They are man, ma, mahma, aynama, in, and illa, that is in plus la. Except illa, it makes the mudari madzum only if it is a combination of in and la. And the meaning would be unless or if not. If illa is not a combination of in and la, the meaning should be unless or if not. Then if there is a mudari after this illa, this will not make it madzum. Okay, it will remain the same. Because this illa is the normal illa, meaning except or but. Okay, and if you want to know the differences, you should look at the translation. If it is illa, the meaning is unless, or if not, then the mudari will be madzum. That is the jazim conditional article. If it is except or but, then it is not the jazim conditional article. It is the normal illa which we learned in our unit 1. And we can take the examples of this illa. Man fihinna, and whatever is in them. Okay, and this man is not conditional article. Okay, what type of man is this? We also learn the man, the relative pronoun in unit 1, right? Yeah. And this whatever is not a conditional. Why? Because in a conditional sentence there should be a shart and a jawabu shart, but there's no condition here, right? And whatever is in them. So this is relative pronoun, that is ism mausul. Wa im min shay'in, and there is not anything, and this in is not the conditional in. We have in as well, right? In and la in are the conditional words. Why? Again, there is no huruf shart, and also we learned in followed by illa, then the meaning will become negative sentence, right? Like, and there is not anything illa yusabbihu. So this illa, what type of illa is this? Is this a conditional article illa, or what is it?
No, the meaning is except, so it's not condition.
MashaAllah. Right? So illa, and also it is not making the mudari after it majzoom. Right? It is the same mudari. So this illa is not illa of huruf shart, the conditional word which will make the mudari majzoom, and also the meaning is except, right? But the illa of conditional word should be, what is the meaning? Unless, right? Unless, it should be unless or if not. So that is the thing. And then we have the conditional articles that do not turn the verbs of the conditional sentence into jasif. That is, they are called as ghayru jazim. And they are law, amma, imma, and idha, which means had. For example, you have had you told me, I would have been happy. Okay. So what is the difference between in, which is if, idha, which is when, and law, which is had? Idha, which means when, is like, for example, if you have, when you come to the masjid, I'll show you where to go. Okay, which means that you're expecting somebody to come. Okay, so that this is the time when you use idha. And in, which means if, for example, if you come to the masjid, I'll show you where to go. So here you're not really expecting them to come, but there is a possibility that they could come. So the expectation is not there here when you said if you come. Okay, that is the difference between idha and in. In idha, you're expecting somebody to come. When you come to the masjid, I'll show you where to go. But if you come to the masjid, I'll show you where to go. Here you're not expecting anyone to come. And love is like had you come to the masjid, I would have shown you where to go, right? So here you're using would. Had you come, I would have shown you, right? Or had they studied, they would have passed. So in English, whenever you have a had, you use would. So same way in Arabic, you add the word lam with a fatha la, that is would, for love. So whenever you have love in the ayah, after a few words, you will find a lam with a fatha. Okay? Is it clear, everyone? So, and the example is Surah Kahf. We have lavit tala'ta alayhim lavallayta minhum firara. So here we have law, right? This is a conditional sentence. Lavit tala'ta alayhim. If you had looked at them, lavallayta minhum firara. You would have surely turned back from them in flight. So here we have law followed by lam with a fatha, right? So whenever you have a law, this will be followed with a lam with a fatha. Like in English, you have, whenever you use had, and then this will be followed by a would. Okay, like had they studied, they would have passed. Had you come, I would have shown you. So same way in Arabic, if you have a law, this will be followed by a lam with a fatha. So here we have lavit talat alayhim lavallayta minhum firara. In same surah we have ayah number 58. Law yu'akhidhuhum bima kasabu. If he were to seize them for what they have earned, la ajjala lahumul azab. Surely he would have hastened for them the punishment. So here we have law followed by lam with a fatha. Is it clear, everyone? Any questions?
Listen, emphasis.
Yeah, lam is for emphasis. Yeah. It's like surely he would have hastened, right? So this is for emphasis lam. So whenever you have a law, this will be followed by the lam of emphasis. Next we have illa, which is combination of in and la. And this illa makes the mudari majzoom only if it's a combination of in and la. meaning unless or if not. Okay, sometimes illa is not a combination of in and la, which we learned in our unit 1, that is illa of istisna and other things. The meaning of that illa is except or but. If illa is not a combination of in and la, meaning if it is not unless or if not, and if there is a mudare after it, it will not make the mudare majzoom. It will make the mudare majzoom only if it is a combination of in and la. And how do you know that? If you look at the translation, the meaning of illa would be unless or if not. If it is except or but, then this mudare will not be majzoom. In antum illa takdhibun. Not you are but lying. So here you have in and you also have illa, right? So you might think that it is a conditional sentence, right? Because you have in and you also have illa. But look at the translation. In followed by illa, you also learned this in our previous lesson, that if you have an in and followed by illa, the in meaning will not be if, it becomes a negative sentence. In becomes not you are but lying, right? This is a negative sentence. This is not a conditional sentence. And what are the rules for a conditional sentence? It should have a shart, a condition, and it should have a jawabu shart, right? The result. But here you don't have a shart or a jawabu shart. So this is not a conditional article. And also look at the illa. Illa is not a combination of in plus la. The meaning should be unless or if not. Only then it makes the mudare after it majzoom. So this illa is but, and the mudare is takdhibuna. It's not becoming majzoom. Because times the conditional words like ma, man are the relative pronouns, ism mausul or negation ma. So they will not make the mudare after it majzoom. Okay, so you should not get confused with the relative pronoun which we learned in unit 1 and the conditional words. Let's take Surah Baqarah. Here we have man yasha'u wa ma tunfiqu min khair. Okay, so here we have man yasha'u. So what type of man is this? If it was conditional article, then this should have made the mudare after it majzoom. This is not making it majzoom. Why? Because look at the translation, whom he wills. So this is the ism mausul, relative pronoun. This man is not conditional word. And wama tunfiquna, again you look at this ma, right? So ma tunfiquna, this will make the mudare after it majzoom. And whatever you spend of good, right? So tunfiquna, noon drops. Why? Because this ma is a conditional article. Okay, and the meaning is and whatever you spend of khair, and then you have the jawabu shart, then it is for yourself. Fali anfusikum. Okay, this is the jawabu shart. And a sister was asking like does the jawabu shart always have the mudare in it, right? So this is the example where the jawabu shart does not have a mudare. This is, what is it? Fali anfusikum. Is it madi, mudare? What is it?
The noun.
Very good. So this is li anfusikum. This is jar majroor. And you have anfusikum. This is mudaf mudaf ilayh, the combination of noun and a pronoun. And this is a jawabu shart, right? So this is the example where the jawabu shart does not have a mudare. It's a combination of noun and a pronoun, mudaf mudaf ilayh, and also jar majroor. And Surah Kafirun, La a'budu ma ta'budun. Right? So what type of ma is this? You learned about the question ma, the question word. You learned about the ism mausul, relative pronoun. And now you also learned about a conditional word. Right? So this cannot be a conditional word because this is not making the mudare after it majzoom. Right? And look at the translation. Not I worship, what you worship. So this ma is what? It's a relative pronoun. It is ism mausul. When the conditional words in, la in, man or idha are followed by a madi, past tense verb, the message is actually in the present tense. This, did you all understand this? So like for example, we have إِذَا أَرَادَ شَيْئًا أَن يَقُولَ لَهُ كُن فَيَكُونَ. Right? So we have إِذَا followed by you have أَرَادَ. أَرَادَ here is fi'l madi. When he, like the fi'l madi should have been, what should have been the meaning? He intended, right? That should have been in the past tense. This is madi. But look at the translation, the meaning is in the mudare. So it says whenever you have the conditional articles in, la in, man or idha, they are followed by a madi, then the message is actually in the mudare. So you don't get confused. Sometimes you say, oh, why the translation is in the mudare? Because arada is madi. Why isn't the translation is in the mudare form? Because if it is followed by a madi, the meaning will be in the mudari form. Okay, now sometimes a fa is prefixed to the verb of the answer to the condition. فَإِذَا تَعِنْتُمْ فَانْتَشِرُوا. When you have eaten, then disperse. So which is the shart and jawabu shart in this ayah? فَإِذَا طَعِمْتُمْ. When, yeah. So فَإِذَا طَعِمْتُمْ, this is the shart part. And which is the jawabu shart? فَانْتَشِرُوا. So this is the jawabu shart. Then disperse. And here sometimes they're saying that if in the jawabu shart, the fa is prefixed to the word. So فَانْتَشِرُوا. Okay, this is the example. It's just in the jawabu shart, fa is added to it. Then disperse. Okay. Or فَإِذَا فَرَغْتَ فَانْصَبْ. So which is the shart and which is the jawabu shart here?
فَإِذَا فَرَغْتَ is shart. And
fansab is the jawabu shart. Okay? When you are relieved, still labor hard. So in the jawabu shart, you have a fa in it.
Like fa is the clue for us to find the jawab shart.
No, fa could be there for other things as well. Okay, you look at the translation, right? When you look at the context, you will understand, right? When you have eaten, then disperse. So this is like conditional sentence. You know now if there is a shart and a jawabu shart, then it is a conditional sentence. Not just looking at the fa, it is a condition. You cannot say that because fa also comes with other ayahs as well. Okay. So this is, they're saying sometimes the jawabu shart also has a fa in it. Okay. Now again the same thing. Law is used for a conditional sentence in the madi past tense. The answer of the law may be introduced by the attached lam with a fatha on the verb to stress the nature of the sentence. Law is used for a conditional sentence in the past tense madi. Like how I gave you example. If you have law, lawit talat alayhim لَوَلَّيْتَ مِنْهُمْ فِرَارًا, right? We have وَلَوْ شَاءَ رَبُّكَ لَجَعَلَ النَّاسَ. So we have law followed by lam with a. If your Lord had wished, he would have made men one people. Next we have illa, which has been discussed earlier, generally means except, and in some cases it is the combination of in and la, meaning unless or if not. And this different meaning is determined by the i'rab of the verb or verbs that follows the illa, and the i'rab is always a sukoon. Okay, and this we have learned. If it is a combination of in and la, unless or if not, only then the mudari after it will be majzoom. Otherwise, it will not be majzoom. And that illa could be illa of istisna or other things, and the translation would be except or but. Okay, so like illa tansuruhu. If you do not help, tansuruna, the noon drops because of illa, because this is a combination of in and la. فَقَدْ نَصْرَهُ اللَّهُ. For Allah did indeed help him. Yeah, and also we have وَإِلَّا تَغْفِرْ لِي وَتَرْحَمْنِي أَكُمْ مِنَ الْخَاسِرِينَ. And look at the translation. This illa is a combination of in and la. How do you know that? The meaning is unless. Okay, and unless you forgive me. تَغْفِرْ لِي. So what do you see? What is happening here for this mudare?
Ra changes to
It becomes majzoom, right? Yeah, because this illa is what? In plus la, that is unless or if not. So, and unless you forgive me, li is for me. وَتَرْحَمْنِي, again this is also majzoom. Akum minal khasirin, right? And unless you forgive me and have mercy on me, I should indeed be lost. Okay, so this is the jawab shart. Okay, and then we have وَإِلَّا تَصْرِفَ عَنِّي كَيْدَهُنَّ أَصْبُ إِلَيْهِنَّ وَأَكُمْ مِنَ الْجَاهِلِينَ. Now tell me what type of illa is this? وَإِلَّا تَصْرِفْ.
Meaning is unless, so it is condition.
Very good. And also what is it doing to the mudari after it?
It will give a jazm.
Very good. So this is the conditional
has become tasrif.
Yeah, and unless you turn away their snare from me, I should feel inclined towards them and join the ranks of ignorant. Okay, so وَإِلَّا تَصْرِفْ عَنِّي كَيْدَهُنَّ, is, this is the shart part, and the rest of it is the jawabu shart. Did you all understand clearly now the lesson 9 conditional article? Any questions? I think some of the sisters didn't understand the last part. Is it clear now?
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah.
Sister, while reading the Quran, the meaning won't be there. So how will we know whether
Yeah, because
Illa
as a beginner learning, what I would suggest is, I every time I say this, please read a Quran a page a day with translation. That will really help you. That will increase your vocabulary, and that will also, like, whatever you're learning, you're going to know. Oh, I read about in today. I read about illa today, because some of the other words will keep, because a lot of words in the Quran are repeated. So that is very important that you read the Quran with translation. Like, try to read it at least 3 times a week, right? That's the bare minimum we can do. Right? Just open a Quran, or open, if you can't open the Quran, just open the corpus.quran.com. That will really help you to increase your vocabulary. Open any random ayah and look at the translation, like Alhamdulillahi alladhi anzala ala abdihil kitab, and then, Alhamdu, you already know the praise. Lillahi, you already know, because this is jar majroor, right? And alladhi, you also know, because this is isam mawsul. And anzala ala abdihil kitab, ala, you already know, this is jar majroor again. Abdihi, you already know, this is mudaf ilay. Al kitab is the book. Walam yaj'al lahu iwaja. And you also know about lam, because we learned about the huruf jazima in our previous lesson. And what is it making to the mudari? It's making it majzoom, and not has made. And the meaning is lam is not. Right? Lahu, li plus hu, it becomes lahu. Iwaja, any crookedness. So this is very important. And corpus.quran is really good, because it is color coded. Right? Lillahi, you know that li is in the red. It's marked as red because it is jar majroor. Ala, this is also marked as red. And allazi, this is marked as green. This is isam mawsul, and they have clearly given it. Right? So as a beginner, I would highly suggest that go to corpus.quran.com. You don't even have to open the Quran. Just open your phone, and then you can read this. If you have any questions, let me know.